Hi, I'm Joe Polizzi, and this is the Content Inc. podcast. 5 minutes every Monday for content creators who desire to be content entrepreneurs. All right, I want you to do something for me. Think about the most respected and trustworthy leaders in your industry. I bet they published a book. Whether you already have the content prepared or you're starting from scratch, getting your expertise into a printed book with Lulu has never been easier and more profitable. Lulu's e-commerce plugins allow you to sell directly to your fans from your site while they handle all the printing and shipping and everything else. You keep creative control, customer data, and 100% of your profits. 100%, folks. Create a free account today at lulu.com. Today's show is a bit different, so just stay with me for a bit, okay? One of my favorite movies growing up was called Vision Quest, the 1985 movie starring Matthew Modine and Linda Fiorentino. In the movie, Loudon Swain, Modine's character, is a high school wrestler and sets a truly audacious goal at the beginning of the season to move from his 190-pound weight class to wrestle the undefeated state champion Shoot at the 168-pound weight class. Through this vision quest, he finds pain, love, and heartache. And just before he's about to wrestle Shoot, Loudon begins to have doubts, and he goes to see one of his co-workers and friends, Elmo, and here's how the conversation goes. Loudon says, "It's not that big of a deal, Elmo. I mean, it's 6 lousy minutes on the mat, if that." And Elmo says, "You ever hear of Pele?" "Yeah, he's a soccer player." And Elmo says, "A very famous soccer player." And he goes on to say this: "I was in the room here one day watching the Mexican channel on TV. I don't know nothing about Pele, and I'm watching what this guy can do with a ball in his feet. Next thing I know, he jumps in the air and flips into a somersault and kicks the ball in upside down and backwards. The goalie never knew what hit him. Pele gets excited and he rips off his jersey and starts running around the stadium, waving it around his head. Everybody's screaming and I'm here, sitting alone in my room, and I start crying." And he pauses. He says, "That's right. I start crying because another human being, a species that I happen to belong to, could kick a ball and lift himself and the rest of us sad-assed human beings up to a better place to be, if only for a minute. Let me tell you, kid, it was pretty glorious. It ain't the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes. It's what happens in the 6 minutes." Before creating this podcast episode, I rewatched this part of Vision Quest, thinking about you, the content creator, the content entrepreneur. You know, we get so focused on the thing we are doing, the podcast like this one, the blog post, the YouTube video, the TikTok. Sure, that's the package the message comes in. We all have our specialties, but it's not the podcast or the blog or the YouTube. It's what happens inside the wrapper. As you know, the new version of Epic Content Marketing just came out, and a few days ago I talked to someone who read the original Epic 1 version. She was talking about how in 2015 she was lost in her career. She had no idea how to make an impact on the world from a creative standpoint. Then she received Epic Content Marketing from a friend, and she told me that it completely changed her life. And while she's telling me this story, she's crying, and the entire experience was frankly a bit overwhelming. And when I decided to write Epic 1, I believed it was needed, but it was part of my business strategy. I believed it would help my personal career and my business, and it absolutely did. And sometimes I forget the big why I wrote the book, or why I create any content, the goal of each piece of content. To help that person do something that they are not capable of doing before, to help them live a better life or get a better job and be more. Absolutely, this is a bit fluffy and feely, but it's all true, and it's very important that we understand this. It's not the book. It's what happens inside the book. and how you can absolutely change lives. You can, and you are. I'm writing this now so I could read it to you as a podcast episode because I want you to know that there is a greater good behind what you are doing. Yes, I want you to create a financially sustainable content-first business, but to do that, we have to focus on the audience first. And within that package of content you are creating every day of every week of every month of every year, you need to know that it's not the thing. It's what happens inside the thing. You are Loudon Swain. You are Pele for your industry. That's a huge responsibility, but also an amazing privilege. So like Loudon, you are absolutely on a vision quest, and I'm very excited to see where you go. Good luck. Hey, real quick before I say goodbye for this episode, CEX Creator Economy Expo Early Bird ends March 31st. If you listen to this podcast, you need to be there, May 1st through 3rd in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. I want every creator who wants to go to make sure that they're there. So first, use this coupon code, JOEVIP, all caps, JOE VIP, to save $100 off registration at cex.events. That's cex.events. Now, if you're struggling a bit financially and need more help, we do have some additional hardship discounts and scholarships available. Just email me at jp@thetilt.com. That's jp@thetilt.com. And tell me why you want to go. And I'll do my very best to help you get there. Thank you. And I hope to meet you in person at CEX this year.